These are my top 5 GLs. Now, a few things about this video. This list only includes live-action dramas. It does not include anime or manga. This list only includes Thai and Japanese dramas, as these are the only live-action GLs I've been exposed to. I am only including shows that finish in the year 2024, so shows like Pluto, and thus the series won't be taken into consideration for being in my top 5, since they both didn't end until 2025. Also, this list doesn't necessarily mean the show premiered in 2024. I just happened to watch them in 2024. So some of them may have premiered in 2022 or earlier, but I didn't get a chance to watch it till recently. Also, this video will contain spoilers. I'll try not to spoil too much, but there will definitely be some spoilers. Alright, with that said, let's get into the video. Number 5 is Love Senior. I know this show has a second season or a special episode, but I'm not going to talk about that here. This show is about two engineering students named Manao and Gyo. Manao is a freshman while Gyo is a sophomore. It's tradition for incoming freshmen in the show to obtain a certain number of signatures. I think it's like 100 or something, in order to obtain their badge of honor, unless they get the head senior signature, which is what Gyo is. That's the main reason why Manao pursues Gyo, but their relationship blooms as they get to know each other during the pursuit. The show pretty much goes through the potential conflicts of a relationship, like jealousy, miscommunication, and judgment. Now, I didn't really care for the trailer, but I'm glad I gave the show a chance. Kind of. It was cool getting to know the characters' background, not just the main couple, but a fair amount of the side characters as well. But man, if you did not watch the uncensored version, you missed out on a lot. Especially in episode 4. The dynamic between the main leads was good. I thought the chemistry was good. I liked the concept of the freshman crushing on sophomore and the freshman taking the lead. All the scenes of Manao teasing Gil were enjoyable to watch, and the acting wasn't bad for a show that happens to be a lot of the actors' first acting gig. Also, the height difference between Manao and Gyo. I just felt that the show went downhill in episode 7 and ended abruptly. It was as if the staff had a deadline and that deadline was coming up real quick, so they had to rush the storyline and film everything in 5 hours. Other than that, it was fine. Also, it was the series that got me into making FMVs. I don't really know how, but yeah. Number 4 is Chaser Game. The show has 2 seasons. I watched them both. It's about 2 office workers in the game industry. They used to date in university, but broke up and encountered each other again, coincidentally working at this same game company. One is a standard employee, while the other is the boss, and it's pretty much an enemies to lovers trope. Well, first of all, hearing the boss's voice, Fuyu is the name of the character, took some getting used to. She's introduced as the mean boss, but her voice sounds like one of those female idols with a high-pitched voice. I think this is the first Japanese live-action GL I've watched, which isn't bad for a starter. Some scenes were kind of cringe, or another way I could put it is the scenes were too cute for me to handle. Anyway, I didn't like how Fuyu treated Itsuki in the beginning, when she was in denial, pouring alcohol on her head, pushing her away by telling her that she's married to a man and they have a kid. But I know it's because Itsuki broke her heart first. Overall, the show was good. It kind of incorporates the mystery genre, which I enjoy. I thought the love scene in episode 4 was well done too, and I didn't think the scene would go as far as it went, considering it's a Japanese drama. I feel like Japanese is very conservative compared to Thailand, but the show demonstrated the challenges of being in a same-sex relationship despite having been raised in a conservative household, and it showed the challenges of raising a child as a same-sex couple. If you watched this series and enjoyed it, but haven't watched the Itsufuyu fan event, I highly recommend you go watch it. It's on YouTube with English subtitles, and you get to see the main actresses react to some of the scenes in the show. It's so entertaining to watch. I feel like they don't really do this kind of stuff in Japan, so finding that they did an event like this and had this kind of segment was a pleasant surprise. Now, before going on to number 3, I just want to name an honorable mention, one of them being Affair. This show's about 2 childhood friends, one of them being raised in the rich family, named Plain, and the other not so rich and serves the rich family, Juan. They grow apart because of a boy and don't see each other again until 13 years later. The not-so-rich friend is now a doctor, while the other, the rich friend, is now a struggling musician. The two rekindle their friendship and really rekindle their friendship. Now, what do I think about this show? The plot, the chemistry. Oh my god, the chemistry. I don't think I would have finished the series if it wasn't for the chemistry. The bad thing about the show? Egg. That's literally it. He just doesn't know when to give up. I mean, sure, it's good to have determination, perseverance, but not in this situation. Bro should have just accepted the fact that he didn't stand a chance against playing. Another thing, some of the love scenes were just too hot for me to handle. Like, oh my god, episode 6, I had to pause that scene so I could breathe. I felt my face get hot and I never had to pause the love scene to catch my breath. And I've watched and read a good amount of Yuri, but because love scenes, it just felt really fan servicey to me, which is why this series gets an honorable mention. Okay, back to my ranking. Number 3 is The Secret of Us. This show is about two university students by the name of Lada and Bern. They study abroad in Europe, meet by chance, fall in love, and start dating. An unexpected breakup occurs, but they meet again a couple years later in their home country of Thailand, where the person who initiated the breakup tries to win back the heart of the broken heart. Now, for this show, I thought the editing was really well done. There's lots of gold color tones in the scenes that were filmed, even in the opening credits. The story was well executed, and the actresses' chemistry was there. I also like the fact that the creators started with the relationship phase first, kind of. Like, rather than starting with the encounter first, getting to know them for a few episodes, and then starting the dating phase, like at the halfway point through the series, people who would watch the show would reach the dating phase sooner because the creators showed their initial dating phase in episode 1. It's kind of like the writer started backwards, if that even makes sense. Number 2 is 23.5. This show is about a girl named Ongsa and her family who moves from Phuket to Bangkok and ends up attending the same school where her social media crush attends, her being Sun. She's too shy to talk to her in person, so she uses a social media account under the pseudonym Earth to talk to her. And Sun ends up developing a crush on this person, even though she hasn't met them, but eventually finds out that Earth is Ongsa, and from there, the relationship develops. So similar to The Secret of Us, I also like the editing for the series, but incorporates more blue color tones as opposed to gold, which was fitting considering the students' uniforms were blue. They also added what looked like a light glow with a little blur mixed in, and it gave the scenes more of like a cozy, soft feel to it. I can't describe it. It just made me feel warm and cozy. Okay, I'm probably not making sense right now, but anyway. I also like the sound effects that they incorporated, like puppy and cat sounds to emphasize certain emotions that Ongsa and Sun would feel. I've never heard these kind of sound effects in dramas until I've watched 23.5, but they made it work. And since then, I've watched a couple more dramas that incorporated the same concept. And I think it's brilliant. It adds more humor into the scenes. I think what's really great about this show is that it's wholesome and not raunchy either. Like what I said before, it gives a warm, cozy vibe. I love the dynamic between the characters' interactions as well. Like Ongsa's awkwardness around the popular social Sun, and Luna's perseverance in befriending Alien. Also the chemistry, even the interactions between the teachers, I enjoyed watching. All the characters were well written. I enjoyed learning about Aylan's background, watching Lamon's development as a character. Even Piton was well written, and he was meant to be sort of the cock blocker between Ongsa and Sun. Finally, number 1 is She Loves to Cook and She Loves to Eat. This series is about two neighbors who live in the same apartment complex. It's about Nomoto, who loves to cook, and Kosuka, who loves to eat. And it's just this wholesome friendship that develops into something more romantic. They explore their emotions, trying to figure out who they are as individuals, and they cook every episode, if not almost every episode, and it makes me so hungry. It's so wholesome. So wholesome. I can't emphasize enough how wholesome this show is. There's 2 seasons. Each episode is about 15 minutes long, and there's like 10 episodes in the first season and 20 episodes in the second season. I wish it was longer, and I wish there were more episodes. I hope they make a 3rd season, but I'm not getting my hopes up in case it doesn't end up happening. I know there's a manga series too, which I have all the volumes of. They're just sitting on my bookshelf, just waiting to be read. So there you have it, my top 5 GL series. you made it this far, thanks for watching / listening, and I'll see you next time. Maybe.